The Mariners just lost one of the most heartbreaking games of the year to the Houston Astros, losing 8-3. There's a lot to talk about with this game and a lot that went on, and there is still a slight glimmer of hope for the Mariners to make the playoffs. We'll break that down towards the end of this video, but man, this one stings. Obviously, got off to a really hot start with a home run from J.P. Crawford in the first at-bat of the game. And then in the fourth inning, the Astros came up with 4 runs, but the Mariners answered right back with 2 runs off the bat of Eugenio Suarez. It was a 4-3 game until the 7th inning. The bottom of the 6th is when things got really interesting, when Hector Neris struck out Julio Rodriguez and then went after him, yelling at him. There are a lot of things that I want to say about Hector Neris in this moment that I cannot say on YouTube because I will get demonetized and the channel will be suspended. But Hector Neris is a punk. I mean, that's all there is to it. And I think that, you know, he got the benches to clear, and then he went into the dugout. He went and hid while everyone was arguing, and then it almost looked like he went back out there to apologize. I don't care if you went back out there to apologize. Get your ass in the dugout. Stop. Get off the field. Nobody's here to see you. No one knows who you are, little bro. I don't know. It was that I've never seen that on a baseball field before. But plain and simple, the way to keep that from happening, if you're Julio, is be Julio Rodriguez. He has been really bad lately. He has been one of the worst hitters in your lineup lately. I hate to say it, but the team relies on him and him alone. Obviously, it's a team sport, but it's not just coincidence that the Seattle Mariners had their best month at the exact same time that Julio had his best month. And when he's been struggling, the Mariners have been struggling. The team will go as far as Julio Rodriguez takes them. When he's hot, he is a catalyst in that lineup that gets everybody else going. Unfortunately for us, Teoscar Hernandez also had a horrible game. He made a big error out in right field that kind of started the rally for the Astros, where they ended up scoring 3 in the 7th inning. And after that, it was all Astros. The Astros bullpen came in and shut it down. Let's take a look really quick at the box score, and then we'll break down everything else in this video. So on the Mariners side of things, JP, of course, with the home run. He also walked 3 times. JP with another dynamic night. Julio 0 for 4 with 3 Ks, and he also had a walk. Eugenio Suarez 1 for 2, also with 3 walks. Teo, horrible night for him, 0 for 5. Demo ended up going 1 for 2, which is really funny because after we saw the lineup come out, we're like, oh, Dylan Moore batting 5. That's a yikes. He hit a ball 109 miles an hour, and then he also hit a double. So Demo looked great out there. Jared Kelenic went 1 for 3, striking out twice as well. Ty France with a base hit, Cal Raleigh with a base hit, Sam Haggerty with a base hit, and Josh Rojas continues his hot hitting with another hit tonight. Bryce Miller looked really good through the first couple of innings, but once he got to the 4th, he really started to struggle. He gave up 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. I'm not too upset that Bryce Miller was pitching to Mauricio Dubon. I think that was the earliest it would have made sense to take him out. I don't know why people are mad that he started that inning. He was cruising versus the Astros. But after the Michael Brantley hit, I get it. It might be time to go to the bullpen here. Gabe Spire, 2/3 of an inning, gave up 1 hit, 1 walk. Justin Topa came in, pitched 1 1/3 with 2 hits, 2 earned runs, and 1 walk. Matt Brash gave up a run as well with 3 hits. Trent Thornton gave up the home run to Martin Maldonado, and then Dominic Leone came in, gave up a hit, and struck 1 guy out in 1 inning pitch. For the Astros, a big night for Michael Brantley. He went 4 for 5. Abreu had 2 hits. Altuve had 2 hits. Everybody in their starting lineup at least got 1 hit, but really it was the pitching staff. The Mariners played really well against Framber Valdez, in my opinion. They got him really rattled there in the first inning, especially when he wasn't getting those calls from Larry Vanover, the home plate umpire, who was absolutely terrible tonight. But Framber did not help his cause at all by being like, what the heck, where was that one, bro? So, but the problem for us was the Astros bullpen, and we know how good their bullpen is, and they showed exactly why. Brian Abreu did walk 2 in his 1 2/3, but he also struck out 4. Kendall Graveman came in, gave up a hit as well. Ryan Presley started to struggle a little bit, but he did not break. He struck out Julio as well. Horrible night for Julio. I'm not going to break down any more of the brawl versus Hector Neris because honestly, I don't know. It happened. I mean, the Astros are a bunch of punks. We all know that. And they always start a brawl every single series, whether it be Framber Valdez throwing at Jose Caballero or Julio Rodriguez hitting a 2-run home run after they had thrown at Ty France. I don't know. The Houston Astros are just a bunch of punks. We all know that. That's all I'm going to say on the subject because, again, I don't want to get suspended or demonetized over here on YouTube. Let's take a look really quick around the league and see where the Mariners are at in the standings. With a loss tonight, the Toronto Blue Jays are on a 2-game losing streak, only a half game up on the 3rd wildcard spot. The the Mariners are now a game and a half out of that third wild card spot, losing to Houston. Now, Houston is idle tomorrow, so with a win tomorrow, the Mariners could make up that half game versus Houston, be only one game back, and then it only takes a Mariners win plus a Houston loss for them to be right back in there. The Blue Jays have been struggling a little bit lately. They have their final game with the New York Yankees tomorrow, and then they go on to face the Tampa Bay Rays. So we might even need to be looking at Toronto as a late season collapse. I don't know if it'll happen, but it's certainly possible. With the loss today, the Mariners should be mathematically eliminated because they're 4 games behind Texas. So if they were to win these 4 games against Texas, if they were to sweep them, it would not matter because Texas does hold the tiebreaker against the Mariners. So the Mariners can no longer win the division, if I'm understanding it correctly. The wild card is their only way in. And tweeted by Zach Left, this is with 5 games to go, so that includes this loss to Houston today, so we're not going to look at the green here. But with 5 games left, and this was made by Benny Bear on Reddit, if the Mariners win the next 4 games, so they go 4-1, Houston would have to go 4-0. They'd have to win out to still make the playoffs if the Mariners go 4-1. Texas, we don't look at again because they just knocked the Mariners out of the division hunt. And Toronto would have to go at least 3-2 to still make the playoffs over the Mariners if they go 4-1. So obviously that one loss would have been that last game against the Astros. If the Mariners lose one of these 4 games to the Rangers but win the series, so they take 3, Houston needs to go 3-1 the rest of the way. They already have one of those 3 wins that they would need, so of course they have their series coming up against Arizona, a big 3-game set down there. And if the Mariners go 2-3, so they only win 2 games versus Texas, Houston would need to go at least 2-2. They already have one of those wins locked up in the last 4 games for them. Again, it's not mathematically impossible for the Mariners to make the playoffs, but it looks really bleak, especially against a team that they have played really, really poorly against this year in the Texas Rangers. You'll have Logan Gilbert on the mound tomorrow versus Jordan Montgomery. So again, Jordan Montgomery pitched really well versus the Mariners when they were down in Texas. It'll be interesting to see what kind of lineup they roll out with that. I'm sure it'll be the right-handed lineup again. We might even see Dylan Moore batting 5 again. Nathan Eovaldi is going to pitch on Friday, it looks like. That should be Brian Wu, I think, that night, should things stay in rotation. And then, of course, the Mariners have Luis Castillo and George Kirby with the last 2 games of the year. I don't know, man. I am just so heartbroken right now watching this Mariners team. And there are 4 games left in the season, guys. This sucks. It really, really does. But I just want to make sure that it's kind of hitting me. You know what I mean? That the season is just about over. Like, we're not going to be able to watch Mariners baseball for, 3-4 months, 6 months, whatever it is. And that sucks. It really, really does. We're going to have to wait till February to even hear the sights and sounds of baseball. You know what I mean? So that sucks. It really does. Again, fingers crossed. We're hoping for a miracle as Mariners fans, but this has been really tough going for them right now. We're going to try to keep the post games coming again until the Mariners are eliminated from the playoffs, which I think could happen as early as maybe Friday. I think might be the first day that it could mathematically happen that they'd be eliminated. So I don't know. Stick with us here over at Mariner Mojo. We appreciate you guys, and go Mariners.